In the third episode of Between the Cracks, we dive deep into the heart of our company's culture, inspired by the transformative book, Fish, by Stephen C. Lundin. Join us as we explore the 4 key principles of the fish philosophy and how these principles not only shape our corporate environment, but also elevate our customer service. Discover how this philosophy can extend beyond the workplace, enriching our personal lives in profound ways. So, enjoy this episode of Between the Cracks and be prepared to catch the energy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Between the Cracks podcast brought to you by Burgess Inspections. My name is Madden.
And I'm Matt.
And today we're going to be talking about basically our company culture in something called the fish philosophy, which Matt actually brought to Burgess Inspections a couple years ago.
So, Matt and I have a question for you.
Oh, boy.
Where do fish keep their money?
Where do fish keep their money, Matt?
In the riverbank.
Mm-hmm.
Riverbank. Why did the fish get bad grades?
Why did the fish get bad grades?
Because it was below sea level.
Uh-huh.
And what do you call fish with 2 legs?
What do you call a fish with 2 legs?
A toonie fish. That's my favorite one. Uh-oh.
That's what you get for those.
So there was a reason why I was making some pretty bad dad jokes about fish. Our culture that we're going to be talking about today is called, it's based on a book called Fish. And this book is written by Stephen C. Lundin. And as a company, we are embracing this philosophy, which is basically 4 steps. And we're going to be talking about that during our podcast today.
Today we're joined with Scooter Burgess, the owner of Burgess Inspections. So he is also on with Matt and I to discuss the fish philosophy and how it's implemented in our line of work.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be a good time. Any companies you've worked for before that had a great culture?
I think every company I've worked for has had a great culture, but this one talks about it a lot more than the other companies I've worked for.
I think that's important. We're going to have some fun with this today. We have a couple other companies that we have presented this philosophy to.
Along with the fish.
Along with the fish.
Such as this one named Chuck.
And a lot of people, everybody uses it a little bit differently.
Yep.
But our goal here is just to create a culture that is enjoyable to spend 8 to 12 hours of your day with other people, with the people in the office, people, clients and customers that we deal with on a regular basis. And in some cases, it's something that you can really take home.
Yeah. I believe we talked about it a little bit last week with Jenny Margie, because we presented the fish to her, I don't know, a couple years ago?
Yes, a couple years ago.
And they actually use it in their office as a way to show gratitude to their agents in their sales meetings.
That's right. So, and there's a good video that they posted on their Facebook page of how they use the fish inside their team meetings. So it's pretty awesome. It's nice to see it. And it's something that, as part of the book says, catch the energy, right? So the goal is what we do with this fish. I don't really think we talk about this in our podcast, but what we do with the fish here is when somebody does a great job, not only are we following the philosophy behind it, but we actually hand the fish or toss the fish to someone.
I've almost been hit by the fish too many times.
That's right. And it's kind of a way of letting them know, hey, you've done a great job and we appreciate what you're doing here. It's a way to have a little fun. Part of philosophy is talking about having fun and playing and that sort of thing. That's just one of the things we do. I don't want to take away too much from the actual podcast, so I'm not going to get too much into that, but it is something that I think every company at some level could instill into their company culture, and I think it would make it a better day.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to take this time and actually present Matt with this fish because he brought the entire fish philosophy to Burgess Inspections, and I feel like that is worthy of fish.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the fish. So without further ado, let's take it away and see what we have to say about it.
Go talk to Scooter. Hello, and welcome to the Between the Cracks podcast. My name is Madden, and today I'm here with Scooter and Matt.
Hello, hello.
Glad to be invited.
So today's going to be a fun little episode. We are not bringing in anybody extra. We just wanted to sit down and really share some of the culture we're trying to build within our company. And it really revolves around a nice little book that we read a few years ago now. It's called Fish, Just Fish. It's a book by Stephen C. Lundin. I recommend everybody checking it out. It's a very easy read, big words in it. Not big as in difficult, but large font. So I think it's going to be an interesting book. And it's something that we've really tried to do within our company because the fish philosophy, to me, encompasses a lot of different things. It encompasses a culture of a company. It encompasses what customer service looks like. And even in your personal life, I feel like these 4 basic steps can really improve your life.
I mean, I agree. Matt, I think you exposed me to fish. I've always liked to read motivational books and stuff, but the fish book, it's a series of them, correct?
Yes.
About 4 of them?
Yes, this was the starter.
This is the starter. And it's a very easy read. It's very simple. And it's just spot on with the philosophy of, like Matt said, dealing with people at work, dealing with a spouse, dealing with a friend, dealing with a child, dealing with anybody. It's just, it's just spot on, everyday, common sense type philosophy. The fish philosophy.
That's right. And, and that's one of the reasons why you see on the front of our interviews and stuff, you see that little fish kind of staring at you. It may be hard to tell what it is sometimes, but it is a little fish. The words underneath it don't necessarily reflect that philosophy, but we just thought it was funny. So that's the only reason why that's there. And then we have big fish here.
Big fish.
We have a lot of fish in our office, just so we're always surrounded by them, and they are our unofficial mascot.
That's right. That one there, what is his name?
Fish.
No, this one. What's the name of
That
this
one's
one?
named Charlie.
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie. That's Charlie right there. So this is a really good book. And like I said, there's a lot of different reasons that you could use this in your life. It's really based off the fish company, Pike Place, I believe it's called.
Yes.
Pike Place
The
in
fish
Seattle,
market, yep.
Washington, where these people work there. They work 14, 16-hour days dealing with stinky fish and dealing with different customers and stuff like that. And, and one day they just kind of, hey, if we're going to be here, let's do it right.
Let's have a good time.
That is when they became world famous. Matter of fact, it's very interesting. I was on their website the other day, and they have a live camera. You can look at it any time and see if they're doing anything.
Really?
Oh,
So I recommend
that is
checking it
fabulous.
out. The last time I pulled it up, they weren't really doing anything, but I really want to get on there one time. And just,
Well, we hear they're busy at lunch, according to the book, when they
Yes.
have the yogurt
Yeah.
people.
yeah, so maybe at lunchtime
The
I'll pull
yogurt
it up and see what's
dudes.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janice and I were actually out there one time, I guess about 10, 12 years ago, and we walked by and we were on sort of a tight schedule because we were getting ready to do a cruise, so we had to the ship wasn't going to wait for us, so we walked by there, Pike's Seafood Place, I think is the name of it, correct?
Yes, Pike's Place.
Pike's Place. And they weren't, I think they were taking a break, they were shut down or something, so did not get to see the fish being thrown. I was so disappointed. Now I got to go back to Seattle.
I thought it was interesting. The video, there's actually a video. I mean, it's the whole philosophy is really built on, they have this whole training package that a company can get to learn this philosophy and create this culture. And in the video, about a bunch of the different people that work there, they talk about the different philosophies. And one of the guys in the video, it's funny, I was looking something up the other day, and he is now a manager there, still works there. And it's like right now would be 30 years or so
Wow.
later
Really?
than so it was interesting. He's still there and he goes on different people's podcasts, stuff like that, and just talks about what they do and why they're so famous.
If you can go and work in a fish place like that, cold, smelly, whatever, and enjoy it for 30 years, somebody's doing something right with that. So, huge testament.
Yeah. So on that note, before we talk about the actual principles of the book, I just want to get both your takes on what customer service in general looks like to you. What do you think good customer service looks like?
For me, customer service is always just going above and beyond and helping the customer in any way they need, not necessarily what they're asking for, but talking to them, listening to them, and doing as much as I can to make sure that they're enjoying the conversation, they're getting what they need, even if they don't know they need it yet.
Well, my version of it is very good answer, Madden. My version of it is very simple. Don't say no. I mean, obviously, you can't do that in every situation, but just don't. Somebody comes up calls us in, has a very unusual request. Don't say no right off the get-go. Sit down and listen to what they're saying. They might be saying something that makes sense that we can do, but just don't automatically go to no. Just always provide the customer with what they want.
Yeah. So, in customer service, I think, unfortunately, in this day and age, just customer service, there's just a jaded view of it, right? Bad customer service, sometimes people don't even realize it's bad customer service because we just don't expect anything good anymore.
You get used to it.
Yes. Someone, like, you go to a restaurant and you finish up and your waitress did what they were supposed to do, right? But maybe nothing above and beyond. I'm not talking anything because I know some great waitresses, so I'm not trying to say anything disparaging. But you go up and you're paying your check or whatever, and whoever's up there says, "How was your time?" You're like, "It was good."
Well, just like case in point, Matt, you and I went to eat the other day, and we had a waitress at our table I thought did outstanding service. And so I keep in my wallet all the time. This card says we were hiring with our phone number on it, so I give her that card. Say if you're ever thinking about changing professions, give us a call.
And that's when you know you have good service, though. If you can say more than "it was okay," if you have someone that's just okay, that to me is not great customer service. I mean, if they say, "Hey, how was your time?" "Oh, my waitress was fabulous."
Let me tell you about my waitress or waiter.
Yes, and I talk the same thing about when we get reviews for our company. If we get a 5-star review but it says nothing,
it doesn't help. But if we get a customer that says, "This inspector was so thorough, they walked through the entire report, I feel so much more assured in buying my house," like, those really matter when we read those.
Absolutely.
I think one of the biggest things for our inspectors, and I think I always do a very good job, is not to make the customer feel like we as inspectors are rushing, try to get through. You got a question, I'm sitting here and take the time and answer the question for you.
So, all right. So with that being said, Matt, how about you introduce the first point and we'll start from there.
So there are basically 4 basic philosophies that this whole fish philosophy is based off of. So the first one I'm going to talk about is being there for the client. So being present, letting them know you're not working on anything else, you're just involved in that conversation. And if you are writing notes about the conversation or you're doing something where you're not giving them undivided attention, explaining that so you're not missing what they're saying. Or just in general, paying attention, not focusing on other things, not daydreaming, just trying to keep your sole focus on them. And it takes practice to get to the point where you aren't distracted. But once you are there, it makes a huge difference. The client understands, or whoever you're talking to, they understand that you are there for them.
Absolutely. And, when you're talking about being there, I mean, that's the hardest thing is just kind of putting things down, not looking at your emails or anything like that. And here's the hardest one for me. It's the listening and actually listening. So a lot of times we'll hear them say something and we have a response in our head and we're just waiting for them to finish talking so that we can give them our response.
Very true, yeah.
Instead of focusing on what they're actually saying to us. So active listening, kind of rephrasing what they said to make sure that you understood them and stuff like that, I think is very important.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, you can listen or you can listen. You can just be there with the glaze over your eyes, your ears hearing what comes in, but then when you're really listening and thinking about what they're saying, they're two different things. It makes a difference.
And people know the difference.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell when somebody's not really paying attention to you, even if they respond to you, but it's still, it's still, you can tell. Like, there's times when I'll be talking to my wife or whatever, she's talking to me, and I'm not always fully present, I'll be honest. And she'll be like, you aren't even listening to me. And I can tell her what she
smart.
said to me.
She can tell.
Well, I can repeat to her what she said to me because I did hear it, but I wasn't listening. She could tell I wasn't really focused on what she was saying. So I work on that. I do try to stay focused on that, and I think it's a part of listening and letting people know that you actually care about them.
It's a big part of connecting with others.
Absolutely. So, Scooter,
Which one do I want? I want play.
All right.
Okay, tell us about play.
Well, I don't think we have to tell you about play. One of the things here in the office, I wish more people in the company, because we got a lot of inspectors are out doing inspections. They're not always here, but we like to play and have a good time. I think if you walk around, and I was telling my wife the other day, sometimes, I haven't told either one of you guys this, I think I might laugh more at work than I do when I'm at home. You just out and out laugh. And I said, not every day is like that. We have, a few things to go on every so often, but I love to laugh, love to play, like to make, I don't think you got to have a thick skin working here, but we like to, jab each other and things of this nature. And we just like to have a good time. And I think we do a very good job of it.
I definitely laugh more here than I do at home.
At me?
Well, sometimes at your expense. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just playing with each other, too. It's playing with our customers and stuff like that. It's having fun. I mean, that's one thing that we are trying to focus more on here, even on the phone, is have a little more fun, or at least show some joy. Yes. I mean, that's contagious. When somebody is happy around you, I mean, it helps. One
of the first things I was taught when answering the phone is just to smile first.
Yes.
You put a smile on your face, and then you go into your welcoming, thank you for calling. But you want to make sure you're smiling because they can hear that.
Some companies I know, this is mandatory. They have a mirror sitting on there, and before you answer the phone, you got to smile. You got to see yourself smile in there. I've often threatened to do that, but haven't done it yet.
And it's just fun to be that way. And you hear companies. I've been with companies before, and they're like, "This is our expectation, but if you can't do it, fake it till you make it." Mm-hmm. I completely disagree with that. I don't think you should be faking it. I think it should be genuine, and I think people know genuine. And,
yes.
And it's just having fun with people, just enjoying each other a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything like what here, right? They have fun. They're throwing fish, and they're catching fish.
They're chanting and answering, call and answering. But it's different in every workplace.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be here. I mean, there's nothing I don't think we can throw.
Well, we throw the fish occasionally.
Well, I was thinking more for like home inspectors. We shouldn't be in somebody's house throwing things around.
No, probably not the best idea there, no.
Yeah, the homeowner comes home, they get little security cameras, and what in the world are they throwing around in my house?
So, yeah, we don't want that happening.
But, another thing about play at work, also, everybody has bad days. Some people have bad days at work. Some people have bad days at home, for whatever. I mean, that's just life. But if you're having a bad day at home and then having a place you can come and enjoy yourself at work, I think that helps a lot for your mental well-being. Absolutely. Just to have a little sanctuary. Not everybody thinks like that about their workplace, but, we try to make it like that. Absolutely. Or give it the opportunity to have it like that anyway.
All right, so Madden, how about you introduce us to number 3?
So this is kind of going back to the Dr. Pepper that I was mentioning earlier. It's called Making Their Day. So this is when you do everything you can to put a smile on the other person's face. So you're happy, you're really being present. I mean, it kind of is a culmination of everything to make their day, but you're going above and beyond. You're doing whatever it takes to make sure they're also having a positive interaction. And so we were talking about how some people might not be having the best day at home, but then they come in and they have like this refuge here. And so, you know, I make the day of the clients if I can, but I also make the day of employees or coworkers that I see that might be having a harder day. I try and go and do whatever I can to make sure that everyone here is also feeling positive.
Yeah. You know, it's how can we say yes when others say no?
Right.
And it's really, to me, I think about making their day as a pay it forward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I can make someone else's day, then they're going to feel good, and they might want to make somebody else's day, and it might continue a chain of people, you know, having more happiness and more love in their life instead of some of the things that we have to deal with everything going on in the world these days. So, I mean, it's really, how can I do one little thing to make your day better?
Well, I tell you, I think I've said something to you, maybe, I don't know about you, Madden, that I have different things rumbling around my head at different times. And
we hear them.
Yeah.
Hear 'em. But last few months, one of the things that's got in my head, if something goes sideways during the day, I just tell myself, this is not going to make me have a bad day. I'm going to enjoy this day. And it just automatically, when I say that to myself, it just sort of categorizes and pushes it out of the way, because I refuse to have, well, I do everything I can in my power not to have a bad day. And if you got bad thoughts that just like on a loop in your head, just constantly coming back to your brain, you're going to have a bad day. But as soon as that starts and you go, this is not going to affect my day, just kick it out of there.
Well, you're kind of introducing the next topic.
I was about to say the same thing, so what's
I
number
used a
4?
great segue.
It was a great segue.
I've read the book 20 times.
Why don't you introduce number 4?
Oh, okay. Number 4 is, I guess we did start talking about it a little bit, but it's choose your attitude. Every single person in the world, when they get up in the morning, has the ability to choose their attitude. Now, things come at you fast in life. I'm not going to say it's a Pollyanna world or whatever, but you get to choose whether you're going to be happy or you're going to be ticked off all day. If you got a coworker that's just bugging you, and you wake up the next day and say, man, I got to go in there and sit beside that person and listen to all that moaning and groaning, you're going to have a bad day. But if you wake up that day and go, I'm going to go in, I'm going to have fun today. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do at my work, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to help customers, I'm going to help co-workers. So you just get to choose your attitude every single day you wake up. I wish more people would. That's one of my favorite of the philosophies, other than play.
You do like play quite a bit.
Choose your attitude is one of our big ones.
Other than all of them.
Yeah, other than all of them is one of my favorite.
They're all the favorites.
Yeah, choose your attitude, though, is one that we actually have right up here on the wall. It's one of the big ones for us, and I think it's a conscious effort throughout the entire day. And it changes your thought process and outlook on things. And, you know, I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about, you know, they want to spend more time with their wife, right? But their wife always wants to just sit around.
That was me, right?
No.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, but his wife always wants them to just sit down and watch what he deems chick flicks, right?
Sure.
And so he's like, and I don't want to do that now. So I'm sitting there the whole time and I just don't want to be there and stuff. And I said, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, that is a chance to choose your attitude, right? You can either choose to be upset that you're watching this movie you don't really want to watch, or choose to be happy that you're spending time with your wife that you love, you know, just little things like that. You know, you're talking to your child and they might be talking about something you're not interested in. You can choose to not be interested in that, or you can choose to be happy that your child is actually wanting to speak with you and share things with you. I mean, there's different ways to look at life, and that, you know, that culminates in that, and you can bring that into the office. You know, you can always choose to have a better day.
Yeah.
Well said.
Anyone else have any thoughts on that one?
No, but I tell you, I think though, if you and I would encourage everybody, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether they're employees, whether they're just retired or whatever, to pick up these books and read them. Like Matt said, they got big fonts.
Yeah. They're short.
They're short. There's no pictures, though. I will say that. I wish they had a picture of somebody throwing a fish, but you don't have that. And it's a real quick read. And in my briefcase right now, I've got one that I picked up and I started to read again. I don't know how many times I've read these books.
Yep. So there's Fish, the original, and then there's Fish Tales, which I think is actually the third one. Fish Sticks is the second one.
Whale. And one of Whale Tales.
You're thinking of Whale Dumb, but that's not part of this series, no.
We have too many books in this office. It's probably a good problem.
So, as a company, this is something that we are trying to build and create a culture where not only do we see it within our company, but hopefully, as we can progress, that the people we work with, the agents and the homeowners and stuff, can feel it and start seeing it and get involved with it, right? So,
and we have shared the fish philosophy with some real estate companies when we've been in their office. We present them the book and fish, and we kind of explain it. And some of them have really run with it.
Yes. Yep, they've done a really good job. So, and we love to see that. We love to be able to share this because I think it's something that's special. So,
and one other thing I might add, Matt, is this has got to be a conscious thing that you do every day. I know Matt said we're trying to ingrain it more. We've always tried to do that in the company, but you got to do it. It's an everyday thing.
Absolutely, and it's effort. It's not just going to come. It's just not going to just happen. You're not going to just say, "Hey, we're going to follow this push book, and everybody's going to get in on it." No, well, we got to set that example and get it going. So,
I want to do one thing. Madden, good job.
Thank you.
You got the fish.
I have the fish.
And Scooter, good job.
This is the size that I catch. Most of the time, I throw those back.
Okay.
So that is the fish. And if anybody does have any comments they'd like to make about this, feel free to email us at info@burgessinspects.com. And we thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast today. We had a lot of fun recording that with Scooter. He's always a blast.
Yep, we hope you guys had fun with it. And anybody that's, has a great culture in their workplace, if you'd like to share that with us, share some of your points. We're always looking to improve. You can always send that information to us at info@burgessinspects.com. And, I want to leave you with a final joke.
Okay.
All right. Where do goldfish love to travel?
Where do goldfish love to travel?
Usually just around the globe.
Okay. We hope you had fun playing with us today, and we hope we were able to make your day. So please follow, share, and like on social media, and we hope to see you next week. Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to the Between the Cracks podcast.